Welcome to another episode of SalonLife. With WhatSalon, everything you need to run, manage, and grow your salon business. This is SalonLife.
This is Naomi, and welcome to another episode of SalonLife with WhatSalon. Today, I am co-hosting with Adam Turner, and we have a very special guest, Phil Jackson, who is an award winner, an author, and the founder of BuildYourSalon.com. Phil, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. It's my pleasure to be here.
Hey, Phil. How's things?
It's pretty good, mate. You?
Good, thank you. Good. Excited.
Splendid.
So, Phil, you have a really fascinating story. Could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what led you to start BuildYourSalon.com?
Yeah, sure. So I have been in the industry since the last century, which always makes me feel desperately old. And we opened the salon in 2001. And for a lot of years, we were doing okay. We weren't setting the industry ablaze or breaking any records, but we were doing okay. And we were having good holidays and driving nice cars, which, as we know, for hairdressers is also important. Okay. And then crunch time came for us in 2007. And 2007 was when we adopted my eldest son. And bless him, he'd had a little trouble in the early years. He moved around an awful lot, so he'd had really good foster care, but his history was kind of checkered, and he needed me at home. And that was when we realized that we hadn't actually built very much of a business at all. What we built was very busy jobs for ourselves. So when it became clear that he needed me at home for longer than I expected, that's when we really started to struggle. But and I'm sure we'll go into some of those things that I had to change. But what it showed me was that I had to be able to contribute to the business without physically being there. So that's when I got really good grips with the marketing and the business side. And then I wanted to help other salon owners too, because I still can't work in the salon. I'm still at home with my boys. And so now I spend all my time through Build Your Salon coaching salon owners and managers and one-to-one coaching and group coaching and all those good things.
So Phil, give us an overview of your salon. What size salon we're talking about, the demographic that you've got around, and
Okay, I'd say we're in a pretty wealthy town, but we're kind of the wrong end of town, so it's not the most salubrious location. And we played with every business size you can imagine on a single site. So we've had times when it was just myself and my partner, and that's grown all the way up to, I think the biggest we got to was 14 stylists plus support staff as well. But the sweet spot for us, I would say, is between 5 and 8 employees plus support staff as well. But we kind of I'm very lucky. I've got a really adaptive team, and they are used to me going into the salon and using that as my testing ground now. So I only share what we've used in the salon and made a success of. So we change things a lot.
And for anybody who hasn't heard of BuildYourSalon.com, could you just explain to us what that is?
Okay, so it's a coaching and consultancy company. The emphasis is more on the online. So I do lots of group coaching and lots of online training, but I do one-to-one coaching as well. And it's kind of the resource, I always pitch it as the resource that I wish I'd had when I was first starting. So it's designed for salon owners who are also managing their salons. It's not designed for kind of big multiples and the franchise salons. And it's just to help fill in the gaps with all the business stuff that we don't get taught when we're learning to be amazing hairdressers or amazing beauty therapists.
And you talked about how you needed to take time out of the business and to work, remotely as such, and still contribute to the business. How did you go about that? Take us down that journey.
Oh my goodness. Well, we really, that was born completely out of necessity. So we got to the stage where I think I've been at home for about 2 months, and we were starting to lose customers. We were starting to lose team members, and the crunch time came when my accountant called me at home, and you need to trust me, it's never good news when your accountant is calling you at home. And she said that we had 6 months left.
Oh, wow.
So that was 6 months to sell the furniture, sell as much stock as we could, lay the team off, and try and find someone else to take over the lease. But something kind of snaps that day, and I put my little dude down for a nap and literally started tearing the business to pieces. So I became a master at running my salon, and it was the first time that I'd taken the business side of it seriously at all. I thought great hair was enough. So it was all the stuff that I could do from home. So a big part of it was marketing, and I like to think I'm pretty good at salon marketing these days. Email marketing was a really big thing for me because it's something I could do from home, but just the whole marketing planning and implementation, and also the systemization of the business too. And I'm a great one for a shortcut. So if there's an easy way of doing something, I've probably found it. So systemization, delegation, or just deleting unnecessary stuff is kind of really music to my ears. Then along came, so after the email marketing, of course, now we're starting to move into a different era, and social media was still relatively new then. So the whole social media thing was really good because I could do that from nap time as well. And then more recently moving into messenger marketing, and of course what I'm most known for is Salon memberships, and that was a really big thing for us.
I think that is so fascinating. Could you tell us more about the Salon memberships? Because that's such a unique idea to me anyway. It's fascinating.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, so it kind of came from a real difficulty in planning. I was finding it really difficult to figure out when it was the right time to invest in the salon, when it was okay to start recruiting people, when we could afford to do anything, because we had these massive peaks and troughs in the turnover all the time, and that meant really tight months and really much more profitable ones. So I went to a networking event, and I love business and I love salon ownership, but I hate local networking events. I'm okay, I don't mind networking with salon owners and managers, but put me in a room with 2 web designers, 3 accountants and a solicitor. So I kind of was taught this game where you take the person you're talking to, however dull they are, and you have to try and imagine what the love child you have to try and imagine what the love child of their business and your business would look like, and it kind of gets you through those really boring conversations. Anyway, I was talking to this guy. It does. It kind of passes the time, and you're not allowed to finish the conversation until
Never go to another networking event.
Yeah. You're not allowed to leave the conversation though until you've imagined what this love child could look like. And actually, there's some magic in there. There's some good ideas in there.
Very interesting.
Anyway, I was talking to this guy who ran a gym. But of course, the easy thing to do would say, well, we'll put a salon in the gym. But he already had a salon in his gym, so we couldn't have that as the love child. I mean, you don't tell the person about this, for God's sake. That would be really freaky.
It's stalkerish, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a love child. No. So I thought what might be more useful was if we kind of looked at how the business ran. And what I found really fascinating was the whole membership way of being paid. So I thought, what if we could bring that into the salon? But there's a big difference because the gym memberships rely on the fact that you and I don't go. Okay, they rely on the fact that we sign up in January and then don't go to the gym. And actually, most gyms, to be really honest with you, they couldn't manage if everybody used their memberships. And I didn't want that. That was the key to it. Yeah, we've all signed up for stuff and then not taken full advantage. But I didn't want that. It had to be amazing value. So it had to be memberships that people were going to use. So what I did was built a membership program. So my members sign up for 12 months at a time, and they pay a fixed amount every month for, think of it like a gym membership. They have unlimited services, and we have different levels. It didn't start that way. It started where they were entitled to a certain number of services, but that was just really difficult to administer. So now the most basic one I have is a cutting membership, and literally you can come in as many times as you want for a haircut.
So with that, are you not scared that you're going to get people come in every day and take up all those revenue earning spots and basically send you broke, right?
I did make an error in year 1, and that was on the top level of membership where we included unlimited retail products. And that could have got really, I put it out there. We got people signing up, and then I went, oh, crap. What have I done? Actually, there were a few things that saved us. Firstly, and I still encourage people to do this now, I'd limited the number of memberships available. So we only had 5 available at that top level. And the other thing we did was we limited who could join. So you had to have been a customer for a year before you could join.
Oh, interesting.
So does that create some level of exclusivity as well? So did you find that created the interest and the part of being, part of the family?
Yeah, it's I think you've got to be really switched onto your avatar. So I think where people go wrong with memberships is they try and discount really heavily, and that's completely not necessary. But it does have to make financial sense for people. And I think if your customer avatar is someone who is watching the pennies a little bit more, then we need to emphasize that for them. In my salon, that wouldn't have made sense. My salon, my avatar is much more switched on by being part of something exclusive, and some scarcity makes it easier to sell. And it's still like that now. So there's certain services and treatments which only my members get access to. So they like the feeling of being part of something quite exclusive.
It's really cool.
And this is something that you have coached other salons to do as well, is it? So
oh my goodness,
other salons have success with this? model?
Yeah, well, so I won some awards off the back of that. So I won the Most Wanted Award for Innovation was the big one. And then I started getting people approaching me asking for help putting memberships into their own salons, which was good fun. And then I realized we could charge for that, which was even better.
Brilliant.
What's the biggest flaw that they have when they're putting memberships in, do you think?
The biggest mistakes they make, you mean? Yeah, okay. So the first one is they try and discount, which, like I said, you don't need to do. It needs to make financial sense, but it doesn't need to be heavy discounting. The second thing is they try and include everything. So they try and get everything off their price card and push it into a membership, which doesn't work. And actually the most successful memberships I've seen, I've seen a brow club where literally that's all they get is brow services. I've seen a nail club work really well. I've seen a tanning club. I've seen a blow dry club. So some of the best memberships are just built around one service. Or the biggest mistake that I think I see people make is that they try and include stuff that's unpopular. And this will only work with the stuff that's going to sell anyway.
But from a salon management perspective, having something like a membership model in place, that gives a bit of financial security as well, doesn't it? Not like the people can expect.
My goodness. I literally walk into the salon first of the month and all of my fixed costs are covered.
Brilliant.
So the rent, the rates, the fixed element of all my wages, all paid straight into my account on the first of the month. And if the first of the month is a Monday, we're not even open.
That's
a really good feeling. All of that first of the month anxiety is just gone.
I can hear the pop of the champagne on the Monday.
Yeah, it's good. But I think the biggest tell is that my retention rate is really good. I'd say over 90% of my members stay year after year after year.
Wow.
So I think that shows we got it right.
Absolutely.
So one of the things I noticed that you do as part of your memberships, I hope you don't mind me giving away all of your trade secrets here, is you have a May Day, day. And I think it's a cool concept. Can you talk us through that?
This to me. I'd like to hear about it as well.
Okay. So the May Day voucher used to be available for all of our club members. Now it's only available to our top level members. But it was born of, I wanted to build value in without discounting. And it is a challenge. So I wanted to come up with stuff that was important and valuable to my customers that wouldn't necessarily cost the salon a lot of money. So what we did was we give the customer a voucher called a May Day voucher, and they can call before 8 o'clock any day of the year, and we guarantee that somebody will see them that day. So if they're suddenly being whisked away for a weekend and they want amazing hair, or they've suddenly got an interview they weren't expecting and they're not feeling their best, then they can call me before 8 o'clock, and they've got my mobile number for that. And we guarantee that they will be seen any day of the year. Now, we're entering even Christmas Day. Everyone says that, even Christmas Day.
I've never had that happen.
You've got to bear in mind, my top level members are the ones who get unlimited service. They're in the salon nearly every week. Okay. They're the most organized clients that I have. They're the ones that book the furthest ahead. They don't get caught out. It just doesn't happen. To be honest with you, much as my guys don't want to be working on Christmas Day, my members don't want to be coming in on Christmas Day either. Right. So the only time, I'll be really honest with you, and this is giving away my secrets now. We're heading into year 5 of Club Bravo, which is the name of my membership program. And in 5 years, one person has ever used a May Day. And she even told me the week before. So she called up and said, I'm trying to get in.
An official May Day.
No, not at all. She said, I'm trying to get in for next Thursday. You're fully booked. Just to let you know, I'm going to be using a May Day that day. So I had a whole week to then get organised.
Wow.
So to promote these memberships then, about how you explained them to your clients, how you got them to accept the concept, because I've noticed in my time, for example, taking the last 5 years in the industry, 5 years ago, this kind of thing wasn't talked about. Now it's being talked about a lot more. I've had a lot more interaction with my customers and salon owners about memberships. I'm sure you're seeing that too. How do people present this as a viable option to their members and get them to take it up? Because everybody wants.
Simple.
I think
everybody
as a lady,
wants,
that's an easy sell.
Well, everybody wants their bills to be paid on the first of the month, right?
Sure.
There's not a salon that doesn't want that. So how do they make sure that the take-up...
We're talking for the salon rather than the customer.
The salon, yeah. So how do they make sure that they're doing that and being able to get this through to their customer?
It's got to be really simple, because you're going to be relying on your team to sell it. If you try and overcomplicate it and build in so many terms and conditions and so many different variations, it's just going to get confusing and it's going to stay on the shelf. The other thing I think is really key is you have to be really clear who your memberships are for. And it's not for everybody, and it never will be. Okay, I have loyal customers to this day who have been customers for 8, 10, 15 years, who it would make perfect sense for them to be on a membership and they could save a lot of money by doing so, and they just won't sign up. And I've explained it to them a few times and they politely declined. It doesn't mean they're not loyal. It doesn't mean they don't love me. It's just they don't want a direct debit on their account, or they don't want a recurring credit card transaction, and they don't want that level of commitment, which is fine. So you have to be really clear. It's almost like inventing a second customer avatar and pitching your memberships at them. So I think that's the key to it. And once you've got a really clear avatar, then you know exactly how to communicate with them.
So when I think avatar, I think, the James Cameron blue person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You've mentioned avatar a little bit. I don't want to take this too far away, but, are there a couple of quick steps that somebody can do to better their business by creating this avatar?
Of course. So your customer avatar is your ideal client. And whenever I ask who a target market is for a salon, they always say, well, she's between 35 and 45 years old and all the rest. It's just clear enough. So we're trying to build an imaginary person in as much detail as we can. So I have a customer avatar for my salon. I know how old she is. I know how many kids she's got. I know the street she lives in. I know the car she drives. I know what she listens to in the car. I know the things that keep her awake at night, which means I know the things that are important to her and how the salon can help her. And I think, if you've got nothing else, then you could survey your existing clientele and take the average, but I don't really like averages. So we're looking for the ideal client. So look at your top spenders, the ones that are the most loyal, that bring the most to the salon, and then put that into a persona and make it as real and as tangible as possible, and get your team involved because they really like this kind of exercise. But then every piece of marketing we have, every Facebook post that goes out there, every email that goes out, every poster we design is talking to that avatar. So we've got a really clear idea and a consistent voice in the marketing. So it makes your marketing actually much easier. But what I'm saying is with the memberships, you might need a second avatar because it might be slightly different.
Phil, I actually have so many questions for you. I think you're absolutely fascinating. So we'll run out of time for today, but I was wondering if we can arrange to have you on again, because we didn't even get into marketing, and I know you just have a wealth of information to give. So perhaps we could have you on another time that we could explore more.
Naomi, that would be my absolute pleasure. I'd love to be back.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you for listening to Salon Life, and join us again for the next episode.
This was another episode of Salon Life with WhatSalon. Visit our site at WhatSalon.com for more episodes. This was another episode of Salon Life with WhatSalon. Visit our site at WhatSalon.com for more episodes.